guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I want to show you how to make a stuffed focaccia. Now, this is going to take no time at all because we're going to make it with some prepared pizza dough that I always happen to have on hand in my freezer. It's one of my standby ingredients, but you can buy a homemade pizza dough at your local grocery store. Like, they'll actually make pizza dough in there, or you can go to your local pizza shop and buy a couple of balls of pizza dough if you don't want to make your own. But I do suggest you make your own, and my recipe is, I think, is the easiest thing in the world. So aside from pizza dough, what you stuff this with is completely up to you. Now, Joe and I are going to be going out of town in just a few days, so I, like any other woman on the, I'm on a quest to use up everything I have in my fridge. So I just raided my fridge and I just grabbed things I already had opened that I wanted to use up. So you're gonna have some pizza dough. You need 2 1-pound balls of pizza dough. Then I have some marinated artichoke hearts. I got some Kalamata olives that I've kind of chopped up. I've got some marinated mushrooms, some roasted bell peppers. I've got some baby spinach that's been washed and dried. And then I've got some shredded mozzarella. You need some fresh rosemary, some really good quality extra virgin olive oil, some sea salt, and coarse black pepper. That's it. Now, I love, you guys know this about me if you've been following me for a long time, I love anything sort of vinegary and marinated and pickled. So I tend to always have a few jars of marinated vegetables on hand because they're great to put together for last minute antipasti or whatnot. I am just taking one of my balls of pizza dough that kind of stuck together a little bit, but that's okay. Shake off the excess. Flour. Actually just gonna, and now what I've got here is my Sicilian pan. My Sicilian pizza pan, I should call this, because that's what it is. And I have oiled this well with some olive oil. Now, the thing that makes, in my opinion, focaccia so outstanding is the fact that it's just got that beautiful olive oil flavor pretty much running through it. And it's really fluffy and dimply and got the rosemary and the sea salt. It's phenomenal. And we are going to get all that gorgeous flavor, but by using some pre-made pizza dough. But if you do want to make a traditional focaccia bread, LauraInTheKitchen.com has got you covered with a recipe, of course. All I'm doing, as you can see, now this isn't going to stretch out completely to corner, but that's quite all right. That's pretty much good enough for me. I mean, I'm not going to be picky about this at all. It is looking on the pretty thin side over here, but we are going to let this rise a bit, so it'll be just fine. And now all I'm going to do is just top it with my toppings. Now, I put my anything marinated, I put them in a bowl before I start to get ready, because that way all the marinating juice is going to fall down, because you don't want that, otherwise it'll make things soggy. So just spread this out and then scatter the spinach on top as well. That looks good. You can see I left a border around, about a ½ inch border, and that's because I'm gonna need it to seal the the pizza dough on top of it. I need to seal it. And then I've got some shredded mozzarella. I always have a block of it on hand, the dry kind that's packed up real good, because it's great for anything and everything. There's just certain things that you'll always find in my freezer and in my fridge. Pizza dough, it's very at the top of the things that you'll find, because I can't, there's so much you can do with it, from garlic knots to quick focaccia rolls to stuffed focaccia to pizzas, of course, to breadsticks to zeppole, to you name it, you can do with it. So I always have some on hand because I need to. Now, here's what I'm going to do so that you can see things a little better. Set that aside for just a minute. I'm taking this other pizza dough and I'm just going to work it on the counter just a little bit, just to stretch it out. Because I obviously can't put it on top of the toppings and roll it out. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, why don't you just call this a stuffed pizza, because you're using pizza dough? Well, we're going to let this rise a little bit. We're going to let it relax. It's going to get all soft and dimply with that flavorful olive oil and the rosemary, which is very reminiscent of a focaccia. That's why I call it a stuffed focaccia instead of a stuffed pizza. So all I'm doing is just kind of stretching out my dough to the same size. I'd say that's about a 10 by 10 inch square there, or semi-square, semi-rectangle. And then once you've got it stretched out enough, you stretch it out. And then my pizza dough, I have to say, and I think a lot of you out there can vouch for this because I know a lot of you have made my pizza dough recipe. It's very forgiving, so it's not going to freak out. It's not going to get mad at you and snap back. If it's risen really nicely, it works out really, really well. It's just really easy. And there you go. Just pinch that leaf of garlic, that leaf of spinach is in my way, but that's okay. And then once I pinch it, I kind of just like seal it. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm kind of like crimping, like almost like I would a pie. See, I'm just taking my 2 fingers and rolling that out, rolling. I'm just going to brush this all over. This is just some really good quality extra virgin olive oil. Look how green that is. It's beautiful, huh? And when I say good quality, what I mean is, because it's all so different for everybody and our preferences, whatever you can splurge on that's ideally the most expensive in your local grocery store is what I would consider is a good quality extra virgin olive oil. This is not an olive oil that I would saute things with because the flavor is going to evaporate anyway pretty much. But this is if you want the olive oil to be the star of a show, you use a really good one. So enough blabbering. I'm going to make just a couple of slits, real small ones on the top, just to let any air escape. And now I'm going to just take my fingers and I'm going to just make little dimples because that is just going to get soaked up with the olive oil and just be gorgeous. Little coarse ground pepper. I like coarse ground pepper. I know some people don't like it on their focaccia. Some sea salt, nice and coarse. Oh, look at that. Just love it. And then some fresh rosemary. I'm not even going to chop it. I'm just going to take the leaves and just scatter them about. This to me is the smell and flavor of focaccia. You could use dried rosemary if you want to. It will make a difference, I think. And I just really prefer fresh because, you know, if we're taking a couple of shortcuts with the dough and the, you know, whatever we stuff it with, just go a little extra with the fresh rosemary. And I have to say, most often than not, I use up leftover chicken, sausage and peppers, whatever's in my fridge, stuff it in pizza dough, call it a day. Now, I'm going to cover this with a lint-free kitchen towel. And this is going to rise and just really relax a bit for, I'd say, maybe about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to cover this with 2 pieces of kitchen towel because it's too big of a pan. And I'm just going to let this rise for a little bit. And once it's risen a bit and relaxed, I'll show you what it looks like. My focaccia has been resting for about an hour and it's not going to like double in volume and it's not going to get all big and puffy, but it's exactly where we want it. I have my oven preheated to 400. I'm going to pop this in there for around 20 to 25 minutes or until it's a beautiful deep golden brown. Let it cool slightly and then we'll cut it and serve. If this isn't gorgeous, I don't know what is. And it was in the oven for about 25 minutes and I have let it cool for about 15. It's still plenty warm and I'm touching it and it is just a gorgeous, soft, beautiful dough. It's really fragrant. You can still see the olive oil. It's phenomenal. I'm going to cut this like pizza style simply because it's easy for me. And I have my pizza cutter right here, so I might as well. Oh, I don't think you're ready for this. And I do rotate my entire thing. You like that? It's like it goes with me everywhere I go. Okay, I want this piece right here. I've got my eye on that piece. And again, you know, don't use the same ingredients I used to stuff it with. Use what you got. Look at this. Oops. That little piece from the other slice. Look at that. It's really hot, but look at it. Look at right here. Look at soft. Look how gorgeous that is. I'm actually going to cut this up a little bit more because I don't want to burn myself. I love carbs. I am such a breadaholic. It is phenomenal. You hear the crunch on the edge? Beautiful color underneath too, if you can see that. Look at that. Hot though. Now I will say this. If you are planning on using the same sort of toppings or filling I use, sort of pickled things that get really kind of wet, you have to eat this right away for the best results. If you're using something like salami and prosciutto and provolone, it stays really, really well in the fridge. But if you're using things that are wet, they will get soggy. So you're gonna have to eat this. It's best to eat it the night you make it, the day you make it. We're gonna go enjoy this. LauraInTheKitchen.com will have the recipe written out for you. I hope that you recreate this, and if you do, make sure you tag me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you want, because I love being able to see your recreations. And if you have any recipes that you want me to make using focaccia bread, let me know down below, and I would love to bring it to you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye. My focaccia has been resting for about 30 minutes or so. No, it's not been 30 minutes. It's been an hour. What is wrong with me today? Ready?